He came with a smile and a camera. He said he was here to tell Africa's story. But what nobody knew was that he wasn't filming a documentary. He was mapping secrets. He wasn't hunting truth. He was hunting targets. It started quietly. A man with fair skin, clean shoes, and a French accent landed at Ouagadougou International Airport with a tourist visa and a press badge clipped to his shirt. He told customs officials he was a freelance journalist here to understand Burkina Faso's security challenges and share local voices with the world. He smiled, spoke fluent French, and praised President Ibrahim Traore's courage. It's rare to see young African leaders stand up to the West, he said. People believed him. Why wouldn't they? He acted polite. He offered water to taxi drivers, handed out pens to school kids, bought tea in village markets, and took pictures of sunsets and goats. But behind the lens of his camera, he was filming something else. Over the next few weeks, the journalist visited places most reporters didn't go. He stayed near military camps, walked along rail lines, and asked local guards about transport routes and mine shipments. When one soldier joked, "You ask more questions than our own commander," the man laughed and replied, "That's how journalists learn." At night, he stayed in a guest house on the city's edge. Nobody ever saw him drink or party, but they noticed something odd. He made international calls every night, never used local SIM cards, never posted online, never tagged anyone. He claimed his material would be published in a European special report, but no articles appeared. No Bailens, nothing in France. At first, locals thought he was just eccentric, but one night, he was seen near a restricted radio tower. That changed everything. Burkinabe intelligence began watching. They quietly cloned his SIM, logged his emails, texts, and voice messages. What they found wasn't journalism. It was espionage. When President Traore saw the evidence himself, he didn't order a raid. He planned something smarter. He invited the spy to ask his questions directly, on camera, in front of the nation. A small press conference was announced in Ouagadougou, hosted by the Office of the Presidency. But this was no ordinary briefing. No CNN, BBC, or RFI. Just 6 hand-picked local journalists and one name added last minute. Mr. Julien Morel, freelance journaliste, France. Julien arrived alone, dressed in beige trousers and a white shirt, the same press badge pinned to his chest. No tripod, no cameraman, just a shoulder bag and a smirk. He had no idea what was coming. He entered the compound confidently. "I'm here for the president's press briefing," he said. A soldier nodded. Inside, the room was unusually quiet. Cameras rolled. A mic stood at the center. 6 chairs in a semicircle. Julien took his seat, opened his notebook, and waited. No one greeted him. No one smiled. He assumed they were just shy. Then the door opened. President Ibrahim Traore stepped in, not in a suit, but in military fatigues. Calm, ready. Julien stood. "Mr. President, it's an honor. I was hoping." Traore shook his hand. "You've been asking many questions, Mr. Morel. Today, I will answer them. But first, I have a few of my own." Julien blinked. Was this a trap? He chuckled nervously. Of course, that's what interviews are for. But this was no interview. This was an interrogation in disguise. The cameras blinked red. The silence was thick. Traore stood tall, no papers in hand. "Monsieur Morel," he began, "you've been in our country for 23 days, correct?" "Yes, Mr. President," Julien replied, voice steady. "Gathering stories, filming locales." To understand, Julien hesitated. Yes. "The challenges your people face. Security, infrastructure, foreign influence." Traore nodded. Then a soldier stepped forward with a sealed folder. "You visited 9 military-adjacent zones. You recorded 3 strategic locations disguised as interviews with guards." Julien blinked. The room grew colder. "I'm a journalist. That's what we do." Traore stepped closer. "Is it also normal for journalists to send encrypted emails at 2 to servers in Abidjan?" Julien froze. A journalist turned, shocked. The folder opened. Photos. Julien at night. Laptop open. Outside a military radio tower. Screenshots of emails to a French military contractor. Julien's color faded. "I can explain." "Please do," Traore said. But Julien had no words. He wasn't answering questions anymore. He was under investigation. "This man came to understand our people," Traore said to the cameras. "But in truth, he came to record our weak points. He came not to tell our story, but to write his own." Then Traore delivered the line that would echo across the continent. Let the people decide if this is journalism or betrayal. Julian's hands trembled as he reached for his bag. The cameras kept rolling. The air shifted. The press conference had become a public trial. A soldier entered with a black laptop. Julian's, confiscated without his notice. Traore nodded. The projector lit up. A real-time map of Burkina Faso. Pins on oil routes. Mine locations. Military storage sites. A folder labeled for review. Côte d'Ivoire client. Julian shook his head. I didn't mean it was just notes. I didn't send them. Traore interrupted. Then explained this. He held a printed email. Target's movements predictable. Palace security thin near Westgate. No, that's fake. Julian cried. It was sent from your encrypted email at 2:17 a.m. Zone 3 guest house. We don't forge evidence, Mr. Morel. We collect it. The local journalists sat in disbelief. One whispered prayer. Another simply stared. The confident white man had become the target. Julian underestimated the country, its intelligence, and above all, the man standing across from him. Traore walked back to the mic. This is what they send us. Not aid, not respect, but spies with cameras. They think we will smile and stay quiet. That time is over. He turned to Julian. You came for stories. Now you are the story. Two guards stepped forward. Julian didn't resist. He lowered his head and walked out, this time inside the frame. By sunset, the room was empty, but the moment wasn't. It had already gone viral. Within an hour, a 40-second clip spread online. Traore saying calmly, "Do you call this journalism or betrayal?" Followed by images of Julian, the laptop, the maps, the email, the silent walkout. The internet exploded. In Burkina Faso, cafes and homes replayed the footage. A man shouted. He caught a spy live on TV. A grandmother near Cayo whispered. We waited long to see a leader stand tall. Across West Africa, TikTok and WhatsApp buzzed. They came to study us, one video said, but they got studied. Students in Seguela painted a mural of Traore. Africa has eyes now. In Ghana, a viral tweet read. He didn't raise his voice, but he raised the standard. France responded with a cold statement. We expect fair treatment for all citizens. No mention of evidence, because they couldn't deny it. Julian Morel was arrested for unauthorized surveillance, not journalism. He was moved to a secure facility. But it wasn't just about him. It was about every microphone used to spy, every photo with double meanings, every handshake with strings attached. President Traore didn't make another speech. He didn't need to. 3 days passed. Then he stepped out, not to podiums, but to a school courtyard. Children sat on the floor. Farmers, drivers, soldiers stood. They have watched us for years, he said. Not to help, but to control. He held up a camera. This isn't a tool anymore. It's a weapon, and we know how to aim it back.